let's talk about nothing. Sounds simple, right? An empty room, a blank page. But what if I told you that this idea of nothing is actually the secret starting point for two of the world's most powerful philosophies? We're going to dive into a massive paradox, how starting with absolutely nothing can somehow lead you to, well, everything. And that's the central mystery, isn't it? How can two totally different ways of thinking, one from the West and one from the East, both begin with this concept of nothing and end up at the same profound truth? I mean, it sounds impossible. It's a riddle. So let's unpack it. So at the very heart of this puzzle are two actions that are complete opposites. The West is all about building up, accumulating knowledge, constructing a fortress of understanding from an empty foundation. The East? It's the complete reverse. It's about dissolving, subtracting, stripping things away to see what's left. Two paths headed in totally different directions. Okay, so let's start with a path that probably feels a little more familiar to a lot of us. This is the Western approach, which basically treats the mind like a construction site, where you're building a massive tower of logic and reason. You've probably heard this famous line from Socrates 1,000 times, but here's the thing, he's not just being modest. This is a power move. For a Western thinker, this is the absolute first step. It's not admitting defeat, it's clearing the ground so you can start building something real. You see, in the West, nothing isn't the final destination, it's a tool. It's what philosophers call an epistemological starting point. Think of it like this. It's spring cleaning for your brain. By admitting you know nothing, you get to throw out all the junk, all the biases, the bad assumptions, to create this clean, empty space that's finally ready to be filled with actual knowledge. And the process is pretty straightforward. Step 1, you admit you don't know anything. You start fresh. Then you clear out all that clutter. And only then do you start the real work of filling that empty space with facts, with logic, with proof. The end goal here is accumulation, to build something solid, to possess something you can hold on to, whether you want to call it truth or God or science. All right, now let's just completely flip the script. If the West is all about building, the East is about dissolving. Let's explore this path of subtraction and see just how radically different it is. For an Eastern sage, trying to add more information is the wrong move. The problem is that the mind is already too full of labels and categories and ideas that actually get in the way of seeing things clearly. So the real work isn't to learn, it's to unlearn. And this leads us to this incredible Eastern concept called Sunyata. It's often translated as emptiness, and this is where a lot of people get tripped up. It doesn't mean that nothing exists, not at all. It means that nothing exists on its own. There's no separate fixed you or me. Everything is interconnected, constantly changing, kind of like different waves in one single ocean. So get this. While the Westerner starts with a really solid I, who just happens to know nothing, the Easterner's whole job is to dissolve that very I. It's about letting go of the labels, melting that hard line between you, the observer, and the world you're looking at. The goal is to just experience reality as it is, the pure suchness of it, without any mental filter. Okay, so we have two paths that seem like they could not be more different. One is piling on bricks of logic, the other is dissolving the person laying the bricks. So how on earth could they possibly lead to the same place? Well, this is where the paradox finally resolves itself. This old cup metaphor makes it so clear. The Western thinker looks at a cup and focuses on the cup itself, its structure, how useful it is, and their whole goal is to fill it with the wine of knowledge. They want a full cup. The Eastern thinker, on the other hand, focuses on the space inside the cup, the emptiness that actually makes the cup useful in the first place. Their goal is to realize that the cup, the wine, the space, it's all one interconnected thing. And here it is. This is the punchline. This is where it all comes together. The Western philosopher builds that tower of reason so high that they eventually slam into the ceiling and realize, wow, my thoughts can only take me so far. They see the limits. Meanwhile, the Eastern sage sits so still that they just watch their thoughts come and go, and they realize, those are just suggestions, they're not commands. They see that thoughts are optional. Both of them arrive at a kind of freedom from the tyranny of their own minds. So in the end, it's like this. One path uses nothing as a foundation to build a huge tower to try and capture the sky. The other path uses nothing as a kind of solvent to melt that very same structure away, only to find that the sky was there the whole time. Two opposite paths, one incredible destination. So now that we've seen how these two paths meet, this isn't just some abstract philosophical game. It actually raises a pretty personal question about how we live our own lives and how we search for our own understanding. So I want you to think about it for a second. In your own life, in your search for knowledge or happiness or whatever it is you're after, is your main approach to add things, to accumulate and build, or is it to subtract and let go? Are you building a tower or are you trying to dissolve one? There really is no right answer, but just knowing which path you're on, well, that's a huge first step. Thank you so much for joining us on this little journey. I hope it gave you something new to think about, or maybe something new to stop thinking so hard about. For more educational videos like this one, make sure you revisit us here at King's Academy. We would seriously love to know what you think. Are you more of a builder or a dissolver? Let us know down in the comments. Your feedback is so important. It's what helps us refine our content for the future. And hey, if anything was confusing or if you just have a question, please don't hesitate to ask. We read every single comment, no exceptions, and we'll address your questions as soon as we possibly can.